Welcome to Saturday Rough Cuts, kids. I am Coffee Doug. This Saturday, I'm going to review a big movie in theaters right now, Thor! Thor works on so many levels because of the team that they got to do it. You've got Kenneth Branagh, if that's how I pronounce his last name, the director, and he has directed some weird off-the-wall stuff like Shakespeare plays and adaptations and like Frankenstein, and very strange to choose him, but with all the Greek mythology and stuff, excellent choice. Some of the writers of such awesome shows as Fringe and Sarah Connor Chronicles, 2 thumbs up. And then, obviously, their selection of Chris Hemsworth as Thor did an amazing job, and it works. And the reason I stress that point from the very beginning is because a lot of people had a lot of low expectations for this movie. First, let me get into me talking to people out on the street and just the random person. A lot of our viewers are going to know that Thor ties in with quite a few other movies. But there are tons of people out there that are starting to really find superhero movies and really enjoy them that have no idea that it's connected to other ones. Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, Incredible Hulk, and then with Edward Norton, but Edward Norton won't be playing him anymore, Thor, Captain America this summer. They're all leading up to the Avengers next year. I'm not going to geek out and talk about it forever, but that's huge. As far as I'm concerned, that's unprecedented in movie history to have all these big movies with big actors. They're all doing well, and they're all going to collaborate in one planned movie, a movie that was planned years ago. Samuel L. Jackson playing Nick Fury. Awesome. Amazing. It's just, I think that's incredible. I think the word needs to be spread on that shit because a lot of people don't know it or they don't get it. They don't realize this is kind of movie-making history right now. Like, we're living it, baby. Thor is, it's the story. It's got mythology, like I said. It's the story of a god that gets banished to Earth, kind of to learn things. He's learning a lesson. He comes from, his own planet, and I shouldn't say planet, dimension, and his father doesn't like the way he's progressing to become the king, and he gets in trouble, so he banishes him to Earth. Earth is another dimension in his world, so he comes to our Earth, and he's got to learn lessons in humility, and he's got to fight people, and he's just got to make his way in the world. He's basically trying to get his damn hammer back, because all of a sudden he can't get it, and when he comes to Earth, he's got no superpowers. I don't want to give away too much, but the plot, it's a good overall plot. It's predictable. I will say that, but in a it's fine. You're going to be fine watching it. Some negative things about the movie that people have found is they don't get into his mythology near as much. They spend a lot of time over in that universe, but as far as to how he's got these powers and why they're gods, and, are there people, like, are they our gods? And it is a little confusing in that, but I think people find mythology confusing kind of anyway. Also, there are some that will, counteract my argument and say it's great that they don't do this huge origin story, because that's been done over and over in superhero films. I think they did okay with it, but they could have done a little more. I do agree that they could have done a little more. And also, the side characters, the supporting cast, they're all great, and they're not used near enough. The movie just felt like it should have been longer, to be honest with you. It felt like it could have went longer. They could have had some cooler scenes with Kat Dennings, Natalie Portman, the Warriors 3 that are Thor's friends. They're in there, and they're really funny, and they're great characters, and they start, like Natalie Portman, and even the Warriors a little bit, start to, show some depth to the character, but then it never materializes at all. It just kind of, they don't spend enough time with all those characters, and they could have done so much more. Kind of minor, quabbles, is that a word, to make about the movie, but, it just, overall, the action, phenomenal. CGI, man, they hit it out of the park. I didn't see this in 3D, so I'm going to tell you don't have to. and I hate to even say this, but I don't necessarily feel like this is one of those ones that you have to see in theaters. You can wait for DVD. The action's going to look just as cool if you have it on a pretty decent computer screen and or flat screen. So, you probably need to watch it, though, before Captain America comes out in just a month or so. And one thing you must do, as always, at the end of any Marvel movie going on right now, let the credits roll and see what happens afterwards. So that, this does have a nice little Easter egg after that. This has quite a few characters that show up that you'll recognize from other movies, and they really are just starting to bring it all together. They're really, really making me anticipate this Avengers movie. They get into a lot of cool stuff in this, and it's worth watching. And if you're not a huge superhero fan, I'd say this is a good one to start. You don't have to see Iron Man 1 and 2 or Incredible Hulk to watch this, but like I said, from here on out, I'm assuming you're probably going to want to watch this to get into Captain America and the Avengers. Let me know about superhero movies that you like, or really I want to talk more about this whole collaboration they've got going. Joss Whedon directing the Avengers, and, the characters they've got in this that are going to be spinning over to that. And that is one more thing. A huge announcement was made that obviously Thor will be in Avengers, but also, the villain from Thor is going to be in Avengers as well. So this is going to really tie into that. He's been on the cover of many comics. These are written by Garth Ennis of Punisher fame. I haven't read these yet. I'm going to. But I've never read Thor comic books, actually. I've read him in a few issues of another comic that I might have been reading, but never really took to the character, never cared much for the character personally, and that's why I am so just astounded that the movie was so amazing to me. It was just awesome. Like, I loved every second of it pretty much, and that's weird because I've never really had a deep appreciation for that character. So that makes me feel like people that aren't into comic books and or super movies will really enjoy it as well, which is a great thing.